Nancy in the comments here. Alrighty, so it says we're live. I'm just gonna.
Are we though?
Are we though? Yes, Stacy. Yes, we're here. All right, just want to make sure that we are going to the YouTubes. Perfect. Love that. Okay. Hi, Alicia. How are you?
Hey.
All right, everyone. So we are talking about A Geek Girl's Guide to Justice. And we have Erin here joining us.
Hello, everyone.
Our first official guest host.
Yay!
Oh, that's good. You see us. That's fantastic. Love that. Honestly, I'm skittish now because when the romance tubers go live, we were talking for like 10 minutes and it wasn't even pushing to YouTube.
Oh, no.
But instead we were live. So I'm always like, I'm checking. Hi, Shannon. How are you?
Hey, Shannon. How's the soup,
Hey,
Shannon?
I know her soup looks so good.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, you can.
Discuss any and all of the books. I'm not gonna lie, I had to wear black because again we're at the end of a series and it's a moment of mourning that we're gonna have to have.
Oh no.
It's sad. I was even saying, I was like, man, this is, I mean, I would have read like 3 more of these books, honestly. Like it's Julie and Lindsey. Of course it's 5 stars, but I really loved Mia. I really loved her, especially in this book. Like, she's so great.
Oh my gosh.
I felt like the phrasing in this one was really great, and I highlighted a lot of stuff in here, just like lines that I loved.
Yeah.
She has those great one-liners. Her and Jake, man.
Mm-hmm.
All the time.
Oh, soup is ready.
Yay! I have some sad news, everyone. All of my notes from book 2 are gone.
Oh, yeah, you were telling me about that.
I'm so pissed about that. Like, I had them all there. I literally, because I was reading through some of them before I connected to Wi-Fi, and I'm like, these are so funny. I should share them. So I connected to the Wi-Fi, and then for some reason, and it's like only this book in the series too, like completely messed up. And all of a sudden, it's like, you have no annotations for this book, and I'm like, say what now? I was literally on here and there was about 50 of them. So.
Oh, no. I know she was telling me, hi, Alicia. We got both Alicias in the chat.
Nice.
Right.
Oh,
you love the sound. Uh-oh. Is it me?
Do people hear us?
My sound is like terrible. Or not my sound. I should say my internet has been not the best lately.
Well, I saw that I didn't have my Ethernet cable plugged in, so I quickly plugged that in, so we should be good.
But yeah, devastation. And then so I like email Amazon being like, are they hidden any place? Like, I can't delete this book off my Kindle. Like, the option's not there because I go online. It's like 5:30 in the morning because I couldn't sleep. So I'm just like, all right, let's figure out how to do this. And all of the suggestions are like, remove the book and then come back. And I was like, great. Well, I can't remove it from my device. So I'm like, how am I supposed to remove it to reset it if I can't do that? So I've accepted the fact that those are gone. And one day I will have to reread the second book and hope that my secondary comments are as juicy as the first one.
There you go.
Yeah, there's nothing like that first impression, that first witty thought. So that's okay, so we have people who can hear us, and then Stacy can't hear us. So she's going to even come back. So
fingers crossed it comes back.
Yeah.
I mean, there were some comments in this one.
Oh, I'm glad it was.
I think I texted Nicole, and at one point I was like, was this our Fade to Black sex scene? Because I know I said I'd be okay with it, but I'm not. Because I couldn't tell. And I'm like, if I can't tell, it's not enough of a Fade to Black. So I was just like, was it not? I just wasn't sure.
There were some moments between the two of them, more intimate, I would suppose, or, quote unquote intimate, that were kind of confusing. Like when she offered for him to sleep over, and she's like, oh yeah, I've got an extra bedroom. And it's just like, you guys are dating, aren't you? For like 2 months now, right? And you're going to put him in an extra bedroom?
Yes, that was exactly it. Because it kind of like trailed off where she was like, I could kiss him all night. And I was like, Are you going to do more than that? Like, I'm hopeful. Maybe you just be like, you don't have to sleep in the spare room. I was just like, come on. And then the next chapter, it's like, oh yeah, baby shower. And I was like, no, you can't do this to me. I need answers. You said you'd make him breakfast in the morning.
Honestly, I was just like, spare room, couch, come on. Come on, Rina. Come on. I'm sorry, it's been rough, but yes, I've missed you all. I love Wednesdays.
I know, and we're gonna go on a 2-week hiatus after this.
Yeah, our next live stream is not next week, it's in 2 weeks.
Just had to prepare everyone for that, because
yeah, we're going bi-weekly instead of every week.
I mean, we could do like something occasionally every week, but it wouldn't be like book related, so you could have fun. Just have people come and hang out, chat about what we're reading, do a book tag, or all of those fun things.
Yeah, it's my reasons aren't necessarily like for the books, like it's a heavy load. It's because that I'm doing a lot more lives now. So I still have to like be a wife and
I mean, if you find out that the hubs is going to be gone for a few hours, just being like, everyone get on real fast. You know, I have no life, so it's not like I'm going to have any plans.
Impromptu live stream. Yeah, the last 2 weeks I've had lives Tuesday, Wednesday, and Thursday. So it's going to be, I was just like, oh my gosh. So I promised my husband was like, next week I won't have a live. It's not that he like says anything. He's just like sitting in the living room, like playing his video game. So it's like, it's not like he's there twiddling his thumbs.
I think like, they only last like an hour and a half. You still have the other half of the evening with him.
I still felt like they needed to put more effort into seeing each other. Honestly, I think they said something like that too, where it's like their schedules are never lining up. But honestly, like she does a lot. She does do a lot, Mia. And then obviously Jake is a U.S. Marshal, so his job can take him like anywhere on a moment's notice. So it's like, yeah, they're scheduled, especially if he's on a case. I mean, like it's, but yeah, I like how the family was recognizing that Mia did a lot for them.
Yeah, Bree. It took all the way at the end, and then a half-hearted apology.
I wanted to
put
Bree in the lake and hold her under with a stick. She was making me so mad. I was just like, how can you not realize that she has like 17 jobs, and then you have this freaking wedding of a baby shower, and you expect her to be like, why can't you do this for me? Why can't you do this for me? I want butterflies. They need to be paired together. And I was just like, I will literally hold a pillow over your face and kill all three of you. She was making me slightly very angry.
I know. Like, why are you having butterflies released?
The 3-tier cake, 200 guests. It's a second baby. I'm like, at most, you're supposed to have a sprinkle. And even then, people are going to judge you.
Oh my god.
Sorry, she made me really feisty in this book. Like, there were a couple times, and then Grandma started getting in on it with the wedding. And I was like, Grandma, do not make me hate you. And then, like, the next chapter, she was just like, oh, yeah, like, I didn't really think about it. You've got so much on your plate. And I'm like, all right, Grandma's forgiven. Bree's going to have, like, 17 books to make up for because she seems like the worst, in my opinion.
Yeah, I feel like Bree got more unlikable as the series went on.
Right.
Agreed.
I'm just
I
like,
agree.
God, they are so, she's so demanding. And even like and she was doing, and even all the stuff that Mia was doing behind the scenes that Bree didn't even know about. She didn't know that they couldn't use the fruit. She had to make all those skewers herself. The fruit.
I was so mad because I get it from a business standpoint where they're like, okay, you can't do a lot of this stuff. But at the same time, like, if you're going to have a waiver where you can bring food to the place and sign like a liability waiver, there should be something that says, okay, I'm going to sign a liability waiver for these, and I'm going to make them at your event with all the food that you already have. Like, you're going to make me buy all new food.
Yeah.
Combine, make them together, bring them. It's just, that made me so mad. I get you have your rules, but I wanted to throat punch that lady on the phone. I'm surprised she didn't go run someone over at the fair parking.
Hi, Christine. How are you? We're just ranting.
I know there were a lot of times in this book where I just wanted to like shake someone and being like, come on.
Yep.
So,
Especially
that happened. Brie, yeah, Brie was the culprit a lot of times. There were so many times when they were like trying to make a date too. We've already kind of touched on this where the schedules were the worst, but I was just, oh man, I was like, gotta be together.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I just loved the lunch where Mia was late, and then so she orders her like this avocado tomato sandwich. Yeah. I was like, that is so petty. So
I would be so mad.
He makes her like, buy lunch too.
Exactly. She's like, here you go. Like, just gives her the check.
I would have been like, can I get a lasagna to go? Because like she had the meal prepared. She was like already draining of it. No.
I was like, don't get me wrong. Like, I hate when people are late. Like, my sister-in-law is always late, no matter what it is. She is always late, and it drives me nuts. But I would never like order her, like, just her food. I would just never take that on and just order her food. And then by the time she came, we're like, here's the check. Bye. Oh.
So intense.
Oh, we needed to go somewhere for sure. I don't know. Maybe it was the pregnancy hormones just messing with her brain. But yeah, she was definitely more unlikable in this book.
Yeah. She kind of redeemed herself a little bit towards the end. Because I think she did finally apologize. But then I was just like, I don't feel like I believe it was the best apology you could have given. So no, I'm gonna
not even close.
I'll forgive you in the moment, but I'm still mad as hell.
Even in the previous books, like whenever Brie had to apologize for something, it was never wholehearted. I felt like she never really meant it. Nope.
Yeah. Honestly, I mean, that works.
My mother-in-law always says like, oh, I'm going to tell Sabrina an hour early just, to be on the stage. And then she never does. And I'm just like, do it. Tell her to be there at this time, and then tell everybody to be there at an hour later. So like it just lines up. Yeah. Because she's always like at least an hour late, at least.
Oh, that's terrible.
Yeah. Whenever we're at a restaurant, I'm just like, let's order without her. Not that I would order her food, but let's just order without her.
And then she can eat, and we'll eat while we just watch her and stare, being like, if you were here an hour ago.
Or everyone else could leave and leave her there alone.
We just end up with the check, yeah. Sounds like an Italian family. And I love their phone tree. That's only like 5 people.
Only like activate the phone tree scenario. Yeah.
Always when something happens, activate the phone tree.
I gotta say, I loved the gender reveal. I was like, oh, what's it gonna be? And the dad did it, and then he's like, I got a surprise for you. And then he comes out with a second cake, and I'm just like, I should have known, but I didn't. I was so surprised.
I saw it coming. You couldn't have a pregnancy with twins, second pregnancy. It was just as fun for me, but I saw it coming.
Yeah, it was so funny. He brings out a second cake, and Mia's like, "What's the second cake for?" I was like, "Come on, you were literally a twin." Like, and then the dad is just like, he's like taking a drink as he brings the second cake out. And I love how it was Tom and the dad. They picked like the blue drink because they were hoping it was boys. and Mia was just like, they have to have some hope, right? But everybody knew it was a girl.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, it's so funny.
But didn't Tom know? So why was he picking a drink just to throw people off or something?
Maybe like what he wanted it to be. That was what I was trying to, because I did the same thing. I was like, wouldn't he pick the drink of the gender of the child? But then it's just like, would he do that, or would he try to trick her? Would it get in her mind to kind of
maybe he was trying to throw everybody off?
I mean, both of them were. Oh yeah, because when the second cake comes out, you might be like, oh, he took a blue drink.
Oh, maybe it was like a boy girl. But yeah, that was pretty funny. Loved when Grandma. Yes, I loved when Grandma got engaged.
I thought it was so cute when she was just like, I need you to run some reports on Marvin. And then she's like, I just wanted him to move in with me, but I'm happy about it.
Oh my gosh.
Save some for the wedding night was hilarious.
That was so funny. Honestly, I love Grandma. She was great.
She was the best. Oh.
Well,
that was my thing. So wouldn't she have known, or I guess the ultrasound was always turned away from her, but I was like, shouldn't she have known that there were at least twins? Like,
yeah,
she always you should know.
Well, no, you can't just look at your belly.
I mean,
whenever she went in for her ultrasound, she had the monitor facing away. So
got it. Okay. I forgot about that until just now. So
I'm sure ultrasound techs are all too familiar with that, with the gender reveals being all the rage now.
Oh, gosh, yes.
And I'm not going to do that. I can't wait. I was like, tell me now, and then I'll tell everyone else. It's fine.
I know some of them are cute, but some of them get ridiculous. Like people lighting the state of California on fire with their gender reveal. Like, come on, guys. Come on. Yeah. But I love, so my first post note is obviously the first page. I just love that Fifi and Nate are together in a relationship. I loved that. And then I also love that she was going on a date with Jake. And I was like, yes, thank you for not having her date other people like other series I could mention.
Yeah, I think I also commented on the first page because it wasn't clear who she was going out with. I'm on the Kindle, so I couldn't see the second page to see that it was Jake. So I was just like, if she's not getting ready for a date with Jake, I'm literally going to throw this book against a wall, and then I'll pick it up and read. But I couldn't handle it if it was someone else.
I assumed it was going to be his brother's wedding that she was getting ready for, because that's how the second book ended. Was he asked her to go with him.
Oh yeah, that's so true. That must have happened like off in between books.
Off page.
Well, because wasn't their wedding supposed to be in December, or was that when the baby was supposed to be due? Because I remember they said it's gonna be a shotgun wedding, and they were having Thanksgiving dinner, but she was gonna have I thought that they had to move it up to like December. I don't know. I mean, I guess it's not that important, but I'm like, I thought they got married in like December. Someone had a baby then.
Maybe it didn't happen yet. Maybe the wedding didn't happen yet.
Maybe. No, they said his wife, didn't they? Eric and his wife. I think they were married at that point, and they even had a kid, which I cannot remember.
Yeah, but I thought that's what the shotgun was for, and the pregnancy reveal was that they needed to get married soon.
Oh yeah. But I don't think because it's only. I guess it was only. Well, in this book, it's just said that she hadn't seen Jake in 2 months, not necessarily that 2 months had.
Oh, okay, right.
But it had been 11 months in between the first book and this one.
Okay, so just a year. So she wouldn't.
Well, the first book was 3 months. Okay, so let's do the math here. So let's say a month for book 1, 3 months of silence in between that. So that's 4 months. Yeah, I mean it could work out. We're fine.
No. Oh, Alicia's saying wedding in December.
Yes, I remembered something.
Okay. Wedding in December. Yep.
My goldfish memory didn't kill me this time.
But yeah, so I'm honestly like, thank God the wedding is with Jake or not the wedding, but the date was with Jake because I'm right there with you, Jen. I would have been like, no, like this is the last book they're supposed to be together.
I hadn't even thought about that, but yeah, I would have been mad if there was something in there like that.
Yeah. We hadn't even gotten to kiss in the first 2 books, and then honestly, one of my post-it notes is like he did a brief kiss, and I was just like, I'm sorry, was that your first kiss? Like I feel like we need to make more of a moment of this.
We didn't get the first kiss. It's
I was like, that could not be their first kiss. Chaste? I'm sorry. What? Put some emotion into it.
I know.
I was like, there's no chaste kissing allowed. You got to kiss her like you mean it.
Yeah. I mean, we got that towards the end. Mm-hmm. And honestly, there were a couple times where Mia would have like a sexual thought, and I wanted to be like, "Hey, that's your one of 25 for the day. Like, I need you to start having these more frequently."
Oh my gosh! Oh god, yeah, her sister with all those like sex jokes, especially at lunch. It was just like, "So how's the sex?" And Nate's like, this is why I like coming to lunch because this is just fantastic.
I was ready for it. I'm just like, all right, let's find out some answers. I need some graphic information, Mia.
I have a post-it note where I was just like, I too would like to know how the sex was. But then she's just like, he's gone for months at a time. You know, we're always on, you know, killer duty. How do you think it is? I'm like, that's true.
I don't know why this made me think of it, but all of a sudden I thought of the scene where he was trying to get her not to be a part of the investigation. And then she's like, you have to tell me these things. And he's going, I have a badge around here somewhere. Have you seen it? And I was just like, yes. I love it so much.
I love that she puts that in. I love how she puts that in. She's like, I have a badge somewhere, has a big silver star on it. You see it? Says this isn't my first rodeo.
Yes, that's it.
I was dying laughing.
Although I will say on behalf of that, I'm a little peeved with Jake because I feel like
figured it all out in this book.
Yeah. And there were a couple of times where he, like, the back of the car, he's like, oh yeah, we didn't dust that for anything. And I was just like, what? Who are you? You're a U.S. Marshal. That should be like day one. Check all areas of a vehicle in a murder investigation. I was just like, you would have thought of this. Like that.
I put a post-it note that said that. I was like, oh, he's probably already thought of that. Then the next page is like, oh yeah, I'll have Dan do that immediately. I was like, you didn't do the entire car? Like, what is this, amateur hour?
But I will also say to that regard, because same thing. I did that page. I was like, of course he's already thought of this, Mia. Come on. And then the next page happened. I'm like, what is going on? And then a few pages later, like randomly, I had the thought that Dan had made a comment about how Jake is not at his best when there's an investigation with Mia involved. So I was just like, oh, maybe it's the Mia thing. But I was at the same time, I was still like, I need you to put your big boy pants on and remember all the things so that she doesn't get injured.
But isn't it Dan's case though? So he should have been on top of it. And shouldn't the crime scene investigators like have known that they were stabbed through the seat of the car, through the back seat, to the back of the
Accurate. All right, all of my stuff is now null and void, but yes, you're 100%.
I'll allow it. Jen is starting to echo. Oh no. The worst.
Like, maybe it's my one earpiece that's I need to get
the Mia effect. And honestly, he did just fine in the first two books. Like I feel like he figured it out in the first two books, but it's just this book. She was literally figuring everything out and then telling Jake, and he was reacting to it instead of Jake being like, oh yeah, we already did that, like he was doing in the first two books. So that was very interesting.
Yeah. Maybe he was distracted by other things, but at the same time, I was just like, I need you to be less distracted.
Do your job. But yeah. It's totally Dan's case, and it's his fault. So Jake can do no wrong. It's fine.
And Dan's girlfriend. Oh my gosh.
Oh my God.
Do I echo for anyone else? I'm sorry.
I don't hear an echo, but then I'm also wearing earbuds. So, but yeah, I loved when Mia was just like, I took a bite of my burger to keep from making a joke about robbing the cradle.
Well, there was a couple things. She had like a list of 3, and I was like, dang, like you're on top of things today, Mia.
Hi, Elizabeth. How are you? I was dying laughing. I was like, and then Jake started laughing too. He was just like, oh yeah,
the middle of the sea. Oh yeah, true. Kind of had to wrap things up as quickly as possible.
She did say that, you know, if it felt rushed, it was because that she wanted to kind of make an ending because she knew it wasn't like her contract wasn't being renewed for this book, for this series. So, but I mean, I don't know. I felt like the pacing was fine. I didn't feel like anything was quote unquote rushed. I mean, if you're talking about like in regard to the romance, I've read romances where they literally get together page 1. So it didn't feel rushed to me. If anything, it was delayed. So
I will say I really wished that like as she was giving up like power with everything. I was hoping that her and Jake, I don't know why I wanted to say Dan. I'm like, Dan's not together with you, but I wanted her and Jake to like start a little duo because I was like, they work so well together. Like, just solve crimes, be together.
Yeah, I mean, that would be great. A book with them as husband and wife solving a crime.
Yes. Julie and Lindsey, write it for us, please. I know. I'm ready to be like, I need more of these books. We need another hashtag. Did we come up with them last time?
No, we did not come up with another clever hashtag.
Yeah, because I need more Geek Tour. What are the other ones that we've stopped at? No, that one's getting another one. That's another one. That's another one. So this one is Geek Girl's Guide.
This is Geek Girl's Guide.
Yeah, no. This one, yeah. Oh, sorry. Getting a tour. And
this one and Geek Girl's like, this is the one we're talking about. Yeah, so at one point I thought Dan's girlfriend might have been connected to the murder somehow.
At one point, I thought Fifi was going to be involved with it again, being like, she got us the first time. Like, maybe she's not. It was a very brief moment.
Dan's girl. Honestly, I never really suspected her just because, I don't know. I was like, I think just her enthusiasm. She was just so into Dan that she kept looking at him and, so I was like, I never really thought it was about the case per se. It was just, to engage with Dan.
When it was all the other three were talking about at the table too.
Yeah, that's true. She's like, I just want to feel included at this point.
We gotta make it happen. Or if anything, maybe just do like a quick novella of them solving a case and then banging like a door in a hurricane.
But this time Jake gets kidnapped and Mia does the rescue.
And then he's just tied up when she finds him and they're taking him out and they just have a moment together.
She should just, take advantage of when he's tied up. I mean,
I love at one point that they were talking, I don't know if it was this book or the last book, but they were talking about handcuffs at one point and she was thinking about, she had like a nice pure thought and then it went downhill fast and I was just like, oh, she's having the things. She's thinking the thoughts that I'm thinking.
She's thinking the thoughts that I'm thinking.
Well, and then there were a couple times where she was just like, oh yeah, I fantasized about that at some point. And I was just like, me too, I fantasized for you. Like, you needed to make this happen much sooner.
Okay, Shannon, holiday novella. Oh. It's December, it's Christmas, it's the wedding for the brother. And then Jake has to be there because he's either best man or something, but he gets kidnapped. And so she has to solve the case in time for the wedding. I mean, right?
Oh my gosh.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
I mean,
I feel like that's perfect.
Julie, you said you wanted to write fan fiction of your own novels. Now is the time.
And I love holiday novellas, little 0.5s in between. They're great.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
It's not very cozy like shit.
I know. I mean, it could be cozy if they were
coming out at this point.
Yeah, he's hiding now. I saw him. I was trying to get him over here because I was like, come on, buddy. I know you can come. He don't listen.
No, he doesn't listen at all.
He does what he wants. Oh, the whole thing's going to shake. He's trying to get up to the top of the table. So earthquake when it happens.
Earthquake. I mean, I'll just write it. It's fine. Hold on. Yeah. Let me just write it down. You know what? I'm just gonna write it. It's gonna be fine. And my dogs are barking. Oh, did he jump up?
Yeah. There's a small earthquake.
Okay.
Not good.
Sorry, my dogs are barking.
I can't hear it. It wasn't as loud as last week. Sorry about that, guys.
Oh, I think because Joe's outside.
Now, what are you doing? Oh, he's going to get into everything.
Honestly,
she's got all the time in the world.
All the time. It's not
11 books.
It's 11 books coming out this year.
11.5. It's okay.
I love it so much. So my next post-it note is basically when she pulls that guy out of the lake or whatever body of water, and she starts doing mouth to mouth. I'm like, no, do not do mouth to mouth without a barrier. Just impressions is fine, I promise you. And then literally she said that exact same thing, like next page. My dad warned me never to perform CPR without a barrier. Thank you.
But he was dying. It was his mom's. Her grandma's friend.
Don't do it. Don't do it. Chest compressions are sufficient until the ambulance gets there.
True.
Promise.
Good to know for the future.
Yeah, because honestly, if you're doing it and then you get air in the stomach, then they could vomit and then it's all in your mouth. So.
Oh, God. So never going to put my lips on someone who may or may not be dying. If you're dying around me, just prepare for the end.
Just chest compressions, Jen.
I'll work on it.
Baywatch lied to us.
Just like, don't do. If you continue reading Cozy, there's not a lot of, yeah, no, she knows.
I wish there was more.
It's the animal intermission of the show. Yeah, dogs barking, like, cats jumping up.
He's good.
During the CPR. Oh, Kim, it's okay.
Don't worry, he's coming back. Don't worry. He's looking at my drinks, so you might see an ear in the corner of my shot because he's coming. Oh, God, he's going to get... Oh, it looked like he was going to go on the actual laptop, and then you would have gotten him, like, full face. He's coming to the side again. He's coming to the side. There he is.
Hey.
Oh, that's my water. That's my water.
He loves see, this is what happens. He loves drink. And then what I do is I just dip my fingers in my drink and then splash it in his face.
He just stuck his nose in it. Look, he glared at you when you said that.
No, he's like, I remember.
All right, bud. You okay? How about you back up a bit?
Yep. He's never been this interactive. That's great.
I know. It's his water now at this point. This
honestly,
is what all people realize.
Kim, it was because you missed it. And then he's like, oh, my fans are calling. He's a big kitty.
He's like 14 pounds, friends. He got huge. When we got him, he was like 2 pounds, 6 ounces. He was like fit in the palm of your hand. Oh my God, that's my wine. This is the most he's ever done.
He is so a cat.
Sorry to totally distract from this. Mia didn't have cats in her book. Oh my God, buddy, stop.
She didn't have time for cats.
She did not have any time for any living creature in her apartment besides herself.
She was especially busy in this one.
Oh yeah.
She had mentioned, I think, at one point that she was going to she would have gotten a goldfish or something. And so she was just like, the goldfish would have died like before leaving.
No, poor goldfish. Oh yeah, my next post note is basically when her sister just asks how's the sex, and I'm like, I would also like to know this since everything is off page. I don't know.
Oh goodness.
Oh yeah, and then when he's finally in her apartment, can I get you some iced tea or lemonade? Or I'm like, how about some sex? There's only like one thing on my mind during this book. Like, this is the last chance. This is the last chance we had. Oh, so funny.
There were a lot of times too where they'd say something and I was just like, come on. And it was always a sexual comment. And I'm like, people probably think I'm some kind of like pervy person if they ever look at this. But at the same time, I'm like, this is what we need and what we want.
Honestly, if they don't know by now, after handstand sex, it's like
17. Yeah, he'll be 2 in like June, July, August. We got him August when I turned 30, so he turned 1 last August for how long we had him, but he was like weeks old at that point, so he'll be 2 at some point this year. Chunker.
So the same scene when he's basically asking, he's like, It's like, do you know Angelina Weiss? And then he's like, think before you answer. Lying will only make things worse. And she was like, she said a weird little woman with too much hair and adorable kitten heels came to see her. And she's like, she liked my heels?
Yeah.
And he's like, you're killing me. You're killing me, Connors. I love this line. It's like, he closed his eyes for a long beat. I'm like, he's counting. He's counting 10.
Yes.
Like, you're killing me. I can't believe you're doing this again. It was when the handcuff comment, I think, is when he said that he would put her under house arrest.
I think that might have been it.
And then she's like, you wouldn't. He's like, I would. And I'm like, yes. Do
I was
it.
like, you watch her and make sure that she stays there. And the only way to do that is basically to handcuff yourself to the bed with her. So
Keep her occupied.
You kind of have to.
I mean, honestly, if Jake was taking his job seriously at keeping her occupied, she wouldn't even be in these investigations. I mean,
True.
Mm-hmm.
All about the shoes. She loves her shoes.
Well, I love that Fifi was just like, I have to figure out, like, what do I want more? I think it's either an extra room or like a large
really big closet
shower or like the closet. She's like, I can't get rid of my shoes.
Yeah. That's so funny. I like that Fifi kind of, came into their group, not necessarily to replace Baxter, even though I didn't really like him at all. Anyway, the 1 second that we had him in the book, I'm just like, I can do without you. It's fine. I like Fifi a lot. I really do.
I liked how it introduced that they were dating, that Mia explained it as she'd accepted the position of Nate's girlfriend shortly after.
Yes. I love it. I love it. So my next post-it note is just me just touching on the fact that I really like that the fact that she's suffering from post-traumatic stress is actually in the book, because there are so many. I read a lot of cozies, so many cozies where the heroine or the sleuther is doing all this, like seeing so many dead bodies, or getting by the killer either being kidnapped or trying, the killer's trying to kill them, and in the next book they're just fine and not suffering from any kind of post-traumatic stress. And I was like, yes, thank you, this is realistic. You can only see so many dead bodies, you can only try to be killed so many times before your mind's like, ooh, so I really appreciate that.
Yeah. And it was throughout the book too. It wasn't just one moment. There were a lot of moments where she's, looking over her shoulder, feeling like she's being watched. And
And she even talked about how she was going to therapy for it too. So she said her therapist says, like, she's like, my therapist said that or something like that. So
Well, she also was watching Jake at one point. Like, she was worried and concerned for him because she was just like, I watched him to make sure that nobody followed him. And I'm like, dang, I mean, it goes deep with her. But I mean, and I love that towards the end, when the kidnapper was, or the killer was in the car with her, and she was just like, I've been through this twice. And she's like, I'm in the car with Vanessa. She's got a gun. She's got a taser. She's going to get me. And Jake's just like, do what she says. Like, pull over. I'm on my way.
She wasn't even panicking. She was just like, I'm through being people's victims. And she was just like, she's telling me to pull over. She has this. And he's like, don't antagonize her.
But I mean, that's strong. I feel like if I went through the same thing, like, yeah, you've been through it a couple times. You're like, okay, well, I know how it goes if I play docile or if I play along. Like, let's fight back.
Yeah.
What did I watch recently?
Yeah, she is driving. So anything she does, like, you could honestly, like, if she was going like high speeds on the freeway, that could cause more harm than good.
Stella in the end bit the dust. Stella.
It's bigger than my head. And I'm behind. I'm only I'm behind.
I mean, you're closer within 2 hours. It's still doable. You stay up late-ish.
Yeah, exactly. It says I should be done about 8 p.m., but I'm usually awake at 10 or 11, so I have more time.
You've got time. It's fine. I probably should drink more water, but coffee is life.
Yeah, I drink coffee. I drink coffee till about noon, and then I start drinking my water.
Yeah.
So, gotta.
You just have to. Yeah.
And I love how she used the U.S. Marshal thumb drive to get the information off that guy's lap.
Yeah, nice little callback.
loved it. And I was just like, oh, you kept this one with you. It's not just one of the ones in the thing. But at the same time, I was really hoping for that love letter. I'm like, come on. Like, you transfer files and see something. But
that's true. That would have been really good. But I was just like, oh, that's awesome. You're using the thumb drive Jake gave you to interfere with his investigation after he told you not to. Classic. I love it. Classic Mia. Appreciate it. Oh. She's honestly just not having it. She was basically doing whatever she wanted in this book, and I was here for it. You must be. I don't. I feel like I'm good. I don't wake up and go to the bathroom.
I have water like more than an hour before bedtime. I feel like I'm peeing like 4 or 5 times, and I don't know why. So no water that close to bedtime.
I feel like I can't do it. It's too dangerous.
Can't do it. I don't want to get up. It's cold at night.
What were you gonna say, Aaron?
Oh, that the brothers were kind of the same way. They kind of just gotten, just given up on trying to police Mia with the investigation. They just show up and be like, "So, do you have anything new?" Is that all?
Well, also the scene where she had like basically all the mice like on her vehicle and called Dan, and then he comes to the scene and he was just like, well, like, you actually told me when something happened, so I really appreciate it. I can actually use this towards my investigation. And just like, he doesn't even like scold her anymore. He was just like, thank you for doing the right thing. Thank you for calling me. I appreciate it. That's it. You got to praise her. You got to praise her for doing something right. Otherwise,
go off the tracks again. Well, and I love it. And this is coming back to the beginning of the book. I remember a comment that like Dan made as soon as she found the body, where it's just because I think Jake was someone was on the way essentially. And he was like, how'd you get here so fast? And we're like, well, we're listening to the police scanner all the time. Anything in your zip code, like, we are immediately on high alert. And I'm like, zip code? Like, that's a very large area. Like, give her some credit. Maybe look for the community, but the zip code.
Like, can't leave anything to chance.
But it's cute that they're looking out for her.
Yeah, my next post note is just basically saying, like, she's like, Jake's going to flip out. They probably weren't even processing the backseat for evidence. I was like, yes, he is. Next page. Oh, my God, he didn't think of that? I was shocked. Shocked.
I was like, and I feel, and maybe I've watched too many crime dramas, but it's been several years, but I feel like you process the whole vehicle. Like, you don't just process where the murdered person, victim, there we go. Alcohol's already working strong, guys. I'm sorry. But I was just like, you don't just process that one area. Like, you've got to do the whole vehicle because clues could be anywhere. Like, what happens if you fought back and, like, I don't know, fingernail ripped off? Anything.
I also there is actually a comment towards the end of the book too, where after they find out it's Angelina, that she's like, oh yeah, they checked under his fingernails. There was her DNA under. I was just like, y'all didn't think to do that at the beginning of the book? And like there's something like there's like a hair fiber that they found on his coat or on the back seat. I was like, y'all, this is not amateur hour.
But I also think so. They might have had that information because I think it was DNA that they just didn't know who it was, so they didn't think to like plan it against her because of her phone labeled her right there. And I'm just like in the office, and I'm going, and I even had this thought too. I'm just like, it would be so easy just to leave your phone somewhere and then just be like, I was here the whole time. Like that's not enough proof. Like, yes, if it was there, fine, but maybe like check the security cameras and make sure like she didn't leave the area.
Right. Also thinking like if her DNA is not like if she's never been booked before and her DNA and stuff is not in the system already, that's true. Okay, I'll allow it.
Well, yeah, because I tried to think the same thing. Like I was trying to go back and be like, well, I mean, I guess they really wouldn't have had much reason to do it. Plus she seemed a little bit upset about it, and like she was donating all of like the life stuff, so it's not like they all thought she was well off, so she really wasn't a suspect because she didn't have motive, and that's what they were missing. I think if they knew, like if she started to try to keep anything at that point, she would have been higher on the list, but that's my only like saving grace for her.
That's true. That's true, Stacy. Through the seat. So she's got to be somewhere. She's got to be
in the back. Yeah. Who's in the back seat? It's not like they went through the windshield and was like, hey-ya!
Well, it's through the seat. So, but also like, they were just talking about how like he was just such a great guy, like this whole book, and then you find out like what actually happened. Like he like bought like defective mice for like. But I was like, okay, first of all, like using like the whole like animal cruelty stuff, like about using the mice for things anyway. But it's like. And then when we found out that nobody was drowning the mice, they were just frozen and then they were defrosted because they were already dead. I was like, oh, thank God. I was really starting to worry that people were drowning mice.
I thought like they weren't necessarily drowning the mice, but like the mice were dead because they went to the guy in the shop with the creepy man in the shop. So I was just assuming that he had dead mice already for the reptiles that ate it. And they were just like dripping them in water and then setting it on the car. Because I tried to not think that anyone was actually drowning mice. I thought that they were just like, getting already dead ones and probably dipping them in water. I was trying to think positive.
Think positive. They would have known it was a female they were looking for if they had checked for DNA.
Did anyone guess the killer?
No.
I didn't really try too hard. I did know that the runner that broke off from the group was significant at the very beginning that Mia conveniently forgot about right away.
Like, oh, this must be important because Mia's not thinking about it.
Again, I didn't try to figure it out either, but then when they were in the cab and they were like, yeah, I picked up this woman who was in really nice clothing and she was distraught, I was like, the ex-wife had some pretty nice clothing, so she's on my list. I wasn't like she's suspect number one, but I was like, out of all of like the 12 people that we've been introduced to, and I haven't been able to knock off anyone, I think that she's a possibility.
Shit. I love that you're here anyway, and you haven't read the book. Covered in death. Yes, her whole car.
Well, it started out where it was like by the side of the car, and then there was two. She's trying to escalate it a little bit,
and then like, she's like, "She's not listening to me. Cover the car." Yeah, I wasn't trying to figure out who it was either, but nothing.
But I'm usually really wrong unless if I get lucky in the beginning, and then like I'm like the first book where I was just like, oh, Warren, he seems pretty suspicious, and then I'm just like, they seem like they're close friends, but like every little clue that they find, I'm like, he kind of fits that category, so I'm just gonna keep with he's my top guy. This one I had no idea. Again, I was just like,
We appreciate you, Shannon.
Yes.
Still in the middle of book one.
Hey, that's all right.
At least you didn't do CPR on the mice. No, it's like that's how much to live for.
I was just like,
she got in the car,
or go back to your family. Go to a well-populated area. Like, who knows if this crazy person is still around?
She locked herself in her car. The mice are on the windshield, and she was talking about how their beady eyes are just looking at her.
That's why I was just like, I would not have been able to get in the car. Like, no. And then now that I think about it, I thought they filled her car to the brim, and then this crazy lady was in the back seat in the end.
Right? Yeah.
How did the dad not see it? He was just like, "Oh, here are your car keys." I'm just like, but I guess she did go back in to get something. Maybe she snuck in there, but I'm like, I don't know how much room she's got in this thing.
And honestly, like, I like how you said, like, when her dad noticed someone's in there, like, and he's a former cop. So, like, everybody's just amateur hour this month. Like,
she could have snuck in, though, because after they all left, she did go back in, and they had that little Wonder Woman comment, and I was like, no, that's cute. And then she did get back out, so it could have been she could have wheedled her way in there somehow. Somehow, maybe, I don't know. I'm trying to be justifying.
Or maybe the car appeared packed to the brim because she had stuffed herself behind all the boxes and everything.
True. There you go.
They wouldn't go forward anymore. And like, what does she drive? She drives one of those like electric, like mini. I was just like, there's not much room in there.
No.
I'm sorry you have your computer trouble, Elizabeth. my CPR. That's funny. Y'all are nuts. And I like how everybody is just getting married. It's like everyone's getting engaged. Nate and Fifi, Grandma, and then that scene at the end when Jake proposes. I'm just like, yeah.
I will say, when Marvin proposed to Grandma, I was like, that's super cute. And then Nate was just like, I think I'm going to propose to Fifi. And I'm like, if these two couples are getting engaged, if Jake and Mia aren't married or prepared to be married by the end of this book, I'm going to put the whole series in the freezer. It was a comment I made at one point. And then, did anyone else guess that they were going to get engaged?
Yeah. I could. And then when Nate showed her the picture of the ring on his phone, I was like, yeah, it's happening.
I was like, oh, that's a pretty ring. And she really likes it. And then he was like, Nate sent a text and I was like, oh my God.
I really love that. I love that, you know, Mia was just like to Nate, like, what is Jake texting you for? It's like, we're doing guy stuff.
We're volunteering together.
We're helping little old ladies with grocery bags.
That was so good.
Oh my God, they're terrible liars. Terrible. Yeah. I was hoping for it. I was just like, I don't want to get my hopes up because I've been crushed before.
I was like, someone could die before the end of the book. Like, I'm hoping. I don't know. Are cozy mysteries, do they always have a happy ever after, happy ending? Nicole, I don't know.
Yeah.
Aaron, do you read a lot of cozies?
No, this is my first go around with them.
Nice. Oh my gosh, you have to join us over the summer when we do the Seaside Cafe because it's going to be so good.
Yeah.
Just sign up for him now. Just sign up for him now.
Well, cozy mysteries, the murder wraps up in every book, but the relationship, if there's a relationship, there usually is between the sleuther and like some sort of police person.
Has someone, the police person ever died and they had to replace the police person with someone new?
Not that I've ever read, but
I got dark.
You got dark, but that's not like that's true. Like if the main police guy like dies, the one that's supposed to be their love interest, that'd be kind of dark.
Julie and Lindsay, if you're watching this, close your ears. Grady Hayes can never die. You cannot take him from us ever,
ever,
or any of the other ones. Oh my gosh, who's the Pulp Friction one? Is it Gray?
No.
Is that right?
No.
Or is he from 12 Days of Christmas? Oh my God, now I don't even remember anybody.
Someone's named Cole. Someone's named Cole, right?
Oh, Cole's no. Was it Cole? I know Cole was one of the brothers, Wes, the Garrett brothers.
Oh, I'm thinking of a completely different series. Oh, thanks, Heather. Bye.
Okay, I've got this book here. Evan Gray is part of the series. This one. I've got my new. Hold on.
When it says when Grandma said maybe Mia will be next, and Jake said something like, "What a lucky guy." I was like, yes. Yeah, Nate.
I think this one's Jake. Isn't this one Jake? Kitty Couture. Oh my God! Can I open to a random page? Jake.
It might be
Jack. Oh my God.
Yeah, not Jake. Elizabeth's like, how big is your freezer, Jen? You put a lot of books in there. I put books in the freezer. I don't know.
They have to spend time to think about what they've done.
They do not always have the murder wraps up, but like the couple doesn't obviously, we know from this, they don't obviously get together. Be more active. Oh my gosh, yes.
That on every level. The Fitbit for anyone.
Yep, sign up in the form. You have? Alicia.
I was like, tell me who it is.
What book is it? So I can never read it.
I know.
We have no problems. Honestly, I don't.
True.
Sometimes there's a diverted yes.
Another person. That's not acceptable.
Yeah. Like in the Joanne Fluke series, like there's basically a love triangle and she goes like, she keeps the she keeps one guy hanging on, but then she dates the other guy. He's like a dentist. I'm like, what are you doing? What are you doing?
Get out of here.
HEA only. Exactly.
Yeah.
That isn't very cozy.
Right? That's what I was thinking. Yeah.
I know. I can't believe I forgot Jack. Maybe I'm trying not to think of like my cat as the romance.
Oliver. Yeah, I was just, okay, I'm still waiting on what the title of this book is, so I don't ever read it.
Burn it. Let's just be real. Get it and just be like, nobody else should suffer. I'm going to buy
Nobody else.
Did anyone else enjoy the moment that Mia explained why she doesn't have a key to Bree's house?
Yes.
Yes.
And then
Oh my
she's
God.
never eaten from their island again.
Yes. She's like, I don't trust it. And then she's like appalled, like they're mad at me. Like I'm the one scarred for life. Yeah, I was like, honestly, they do a lot in the name of their sex research. They're like, it's for the cause, okay? Yeah. Everything they do, every inappropriate question, every uncomfortable moment, they're like, it's for research. Like that just makes it okay.
Science.
Exactly.
Science. I finally finished the first chocolate chip cookie murder.
Oh.
I mean, I did like that series. I only read to like book 5 or 6, but like when she started being like a flip-flopper and basically saying that they couldn't date other people, like the guys couldn't date other people, but then here she was dating those two. I was like, you're too much. I can't even with you, Hannah. I can't even with you right now. It's like, how are you going to say they can't date other people? Or you get mad when he's on a date with someone else when he wasn't. They were just friends, but she's going on dates with both of them. I was like, I just can't, Hannah. I can't. Ellery Adams. I'm going to write that down.
Babe.
Circle, cross. Crossed off. Don't do it.
You're going to see it and be like, oh, why did I cross this off? I just go there right away.
So weird. I know. There's like no other, it's like, there's just a name with a line through it. Has a love triangle. Oh, and I never read the Stephanie Plum series. Don't come for me.
Isn't that the first one's like one for the money? Yeah. That's the one where there's numbers. I need to read that. I've had a couple of people tell me about that one.
That's why you always knock, even if you have a key.
True.
She learned her lesson.
I mean, I had that happen with a friend's house as well. They gave me a key to their house, and so they told me to come over, and I was like, okay, I'm coming over. And so I walk in, and I'm starting to go back because they have a long hallway, and I could hear.
This was one time. It was
one time. Not with you. It was a different friend. I was literally walking down the hallway. I don't have a key to your house now that I think about it. And the husband, there was something he said, so they hadn't started, but I was just like, I'm going to stop and turn around. And I walk in the kitchen, I call my friend, and she's like, hey, how's it going? And I was like, I'm here. And she's like, don't come in the back room. And I'm like, I'm not. I'll never do that.
Dirty talk to get things ready. Got it.
So nothing had happened, but I was like, I heard enough of it where I was just like, stop immediately, turn around, abort.
Oh gosh.
Sorry for her life.
It was one time. She keeps bringing it up.
I mean, I have spent the night at your house, but I mean, I have not heard things like that you know of. It was book fair nights, all right?
Yeah, that's true. It's like no funny business because we got to wake up early. Books are at stake.
Not this year, though.
Love triangle for 20 some books.
I feel like that would drive me nuts. A love triangle for 20 books.
Make a decision.
Yeah.
Make a decision.
I mean, maybe she goes like back and forth between the two. Like she'll start dating one and they'll have a moment and then she's like, no, thank you. And then she goes to someone else. I don't know. I've not read it, so I can't justify anything.
You could have gone for a walk.
I would have, but they invited me over. Like, I was just like, how do you tell me to come over and then, like, You know how long it takes to get from my house to yours. You timed it before.
Oh my gosh.
Oh.
They thought they could get one in. It's kind of the worst. Honestly, what kid hasn't heard their parents? And then,
I swear, my youngest just like has a radar for it. Like, and she has since she was born. Anytime I just like try and kiss my wife or anything like that, she start crying or like need mom for something.
dang. Can't even let them enjoy them. Yeah, exactly. Why are you calling them? Just leave and then come back.
I wouldn't have come back. It was already like 9 o'clock at night.
Oh my god, it's so funny. It's like the Hamlet version of cozy. Just stop. Besides what? Yes.
Yes. I notated that. I was like, come on, show it.
Yeah, there was a lot. There was a lot of sexual innuendos in this book, so it's not my fault that I had sex on the brain. It's here. It's this book's fault.
True.
Shannon, stop.
It wouldn't have been. They know me.
Oh my god. That is the best.
They wanted me to come over to watch Downton Abbey because I've been telling my friend forever to watch it. And so I was like, okay, we get started. Just let me know when. Should have just called it a
Downton
night.
Abbey. Netflix and chill.
No.
Hey, kids will do that.
They do.
Well, yeah.
Yeah. I was like, I'm 31 and no. Nope. Nobody. La 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 la.
Okay. Don't stop, Shannon.
Oh no. Oh no.
The whole time. Oh my god. If I could die from secondhand embarrassment. Oh my gosh, Heather, I'm so sorry, but that's hilarious. Oh gosh. Okay. Okay, so my next post-it note, back to the book after that very long tangent. But so Fifi's dad, huh? He's something else, I feel like. And so she was talking about how like my mind's everywhere, clubhouse responsibilities, squirrels, my RPG and the Renaissance fair, and the dad's like rocket propelled grenades. I'm like, yes, that's obviously what she's talking about.
Do you like imagine Daddy Argent in that moment after she said it was?
Oh no, I would never think Daddy Argent because this guy was a jerk.
I don't know, but she thought for a moment that Fifi was cheating on him. She didn't know what to do. And then talking to like Nate in the back pocket, and then his phone's like blowing up and 30 miles away. Nate's having like a mental breakdown about his relationship.
Yes, even Fifi was like, "Are you not going to answer your phone?"
100%.
Walking out, your brother. Ooh, the worst.
Honestly, I think of rocket propelled grenades at any point, and then he was just like, grenades, and I'm like, where do you get grenades from? I'm like, oh, RPG. I get it. I see where it happened.
Oh yeah, the squirrels wreaking havoc, and it's not the squirrels' fault. It's the fact that she was up there in the attic messing with things and like putting in these wires and stuff for their Wi-Fi, but it's not the squirrels' fault. She's like, if you wouldn't have been up there, they can't kick you out of their home. It's their home.
And then she had like the perfect solution for the little monkey things, which by the way are freaky as hell.
I love that she gave that to her niece as a present at the end. And she was like, I just love my niece so much. I was like, that is the best. Motion censored monkey. That is amazing.
I figured they would come into play at some point. I didn't think it would be in the car though. Like I figured that she would have like boxes of them in her home or something, and then she'd like be home, and then all of a sudden like they'd go off, and that would be scary as hell. Let me just tell you right now. To hear that sound while you're in a different room and being like, well, that's not right.
was she having a squirrel problem, and she just kind of just wrote out her frustration in this book.
It did seem like kind of a roundabout way to get to the hidden camera, but then like when she's dealing with the whole fallout from the squirrels, I was just like, why does she even still work for this place? Like she's the IT manager. Why is she having to like calm the public down and have
I had that too, because I was just like, this woman she's IT, and they're like, you've got to fix this problem, you've got to calm the people. I'm like, same thing. She's IT. Like, she's not in charge of calming the public.
It's like, I'm in charge of the Wi-Fi. Okay, the Wi-Fi's down. I can fix that, but y'all need to get the squirrels out of there. Why do I got to talk to the people? I'm not PR. Like, come on. And I was like, why does she even work as an IT manager anyway? She's a millionaire, for God's sakes. Yep. She could have much more, time to sleuth if she didn't have a full-time job.
True. She could be with Jake solving crimes all the time.
I love when he brought that up, the hidden camera at the meeting.
And
everyone's like, what? You're filming us?
And then he made like this big show of taking it down. Can I put cameras in little squirrel houses? And I was like, why, you perv? No.
And he's just like, I only watch the live feed. I don't record anything. And Mia's just like, he's a scientist. He watches it all the time.
Yeah, he records everything.
Like the Furby. Oh gosh, yes. Honestly, I had a Furby when why?
Yeah.
That's true. Yeah. It's like, hey, you did this, fix it. Like, even though that is not in my job description.
Oh yeah.
Thanks, Leo. Appreciate it.
You're the best. That's one thing because they had oh my gosh, when Mia all of a sudden decided that she had a British accent. I know we haven't gotten there yet, but I was like, I would love to have heard that on an audiobook. That would have been the best. All of a sudden just breaks out. Oh.
And didn't when there was one part where she spoke again and she forgot her British accent.
Towards the end, she was saying goodbye.
Oh,
and then she's like, we can't go with this guy because I just lied to him about who I am. And I'm like, you're a twin. Just say that it's your twin sister that met with you. It's fine.
Exactly.
But they solved it somehow because they did end up going with him.
True. That's true. Unfortunately, yeah, she really does not know how to say no. She doesn't.
There were a couple times in here where I was like, girl, you need a vacation. Like, take a break.
And that's what happened. Like, she went up to the cabin and then she was, and then Bree's like, I'm going into labor. I was like, making everything about you, Bree, again. And she's like, this is your first vacation in 3 books. And you're like, I'm going into labor.
Attempted murder 3 times, almost raped in book 1. Like, maybe I should just get a few days away. Although, let her know, being like, hey, I'm in labor. You stay where you're at. It's fine. I'll text you when it's done.
Yep.
That's all I did.
So my next post-it note is like they're talking about Fifi was inviting Mia to go to this party. And then she's like, of course, who's the party for? Someone named Crispin Keys. I'm like, Crispin? What? That's so rare. Crispin. That's one of my weirder. Oh my gosh. My next post. This is so funny. Okay, so the doorbell rang. Open up, ma'am. U.S. Marshal Services. And she's like, what seems to be the trouble, officer? She does like to role play. So this could honestly just lead.
Yeah.
My mind. I immediately was just like, come on, do it, guys.
What seems to be? Oh, I was laughing so hard. I was like, I'm so funny. Just laughing at work. Yeah, next post note, no chase kisses allowed. That was my next one.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, I had a about time because that was the first kiss.
The first
kiss we were privy to.
Exactly, yep. And it's chaste. Ugh.
I highlighted the same area, and I think I already said this, but I was just like, was this your first kiss? Like, I think we need to make more of a moment of it because I need more.
Yes.
This progressed too quickly. I missed too much.
Yeah, my next post note is just Jake. Jake patted his pockets, pretending to look for it. Have you seen my badge lately? Has a big star on it. Says this isn't my first rodeo. Honestly, the best line of the book. So funny. And then she framed the pictures that they took from the.
Yeah.
Like, we didn't realize what she was up to until we received our copies. I framed mine.
I was like, girl, you gotta blow that up, make it a poster, put it above your bed. Like, you need that day and night. Is that too far?
She's also in the picture. Maybe if it was just him.
I mean, she can blow up that and then just like fold it over so it's only his portion of it. I don't know.
Jen's like, I just need some relief. I mean, that's it.
If there's so much tension, guys.
Oh, Chase kisses. I thought we were back. My bad.
No, yeah, that would have been the worst.
They're the best pictures, honestly.
Yeah, I want someone who's artsy. Can you like go back and reread that section and then like draw a picture of it? Because I would love
fan art, yes. I have no like artistic talent at all.
I can draw a stick figure and make it look like a person. So I'm not the person for this draw.
Can't do it. Can't do it. Okay. Oh yeah. So my next post-it note is basically Reese and how she's 23 and on a date with Dan.
How old is Dan? Isn't Dan older than Jake?
I think so. Or
Jake's older.
No, Dan's younger, right?
Oh.
Because she made fun of him in the first book that Dan was a detective and Jake was head of security.
Oh, younger brother. That's right. You are right. Okay.
Yes. Oh my gosh, that's so funny. But they are all in their 30s.
Yeah.
Even Mia, isn't she? Mia's just over 30, or she was gonna turn 30.
So I was confused. So in the first book, it seemed like she was 30, but then like in the second book, she was almost 30.
Yeah.
I
was like, I vaguely remember something about her being 29, but I was like, did she turn 30 between now and then?
It's just like a woman hiding her age. It's fine. I'll allow it. Oh, so funny. Oh yeah. My next post note after that is when it was twins. Bree was having twins.
It's cute.
And when we find out they weren't actually drowning mice, yes. And when she invited him to stay in her spare room, and I'm like, no spare room. It's fine. The bed's big enough. I promise. And then of course, my last post-it note is when
Nicole, pay attention. There's comments.
Oh, well, I'm doing.
I know. Last moment. Stacey, we just want to say goodbye to Stacey before she leaves.
Bye, Stacey.
I wouldn't have interrupted you if it was just regular comments. I was just like, but someone's leaving.
Oh, your friend. Oh, kids waiting. Okay.
I mean, if your kids want to hang out with you, we'll allow it.
We'll allow it. There's a lot of allowing going on.
All right,
last post-it note is of course when he proposed.
Oh yeah.
As the tears bring to my eyes, as the most beautiful words I'd ever heard were spoken, and I said yes. I loved it. What a great ending. I like how you did wrap that up very nicely. At least it wasn't like, she didn't want to leave it open-ended because she knew that this was going to be the last book. So we really appreciate it.
Technically, that could also be our fade to black sex scene because honestly, they were going to be together for 4 days. They had just mentioned putting their phones on silent, and I was just like, yes! But I need Julia
and she
Lindsey.
Just said yes, you better believe like they're having sex. Yes.
I need you to pull a Julia Quinn, the Bridgerton lady. She always does a second epilogue. So if you want to do a second epilogue in which things spice up in the mountains, I will allow it. If you have time for it, if you want to throw that in, I'm here for it.
I wouldn't be opposed.
We've got at least 30 people that you could get to buy that from you right away.
Absolutely. So, nice wrap up. Honestly, this series was great. I really enjoyed Mia and her shenanigans that she got into, and the fact that she could kick ass. Like, she honestly, like, she saved herself a lot in this series with her self-defense and her snarky, sassy comments. I loved it.
Yeah.
I know. Okay, so last live we said that we liked arsenic more than murder. Where does justice fall in this? Because you like justice more?
Yeah, I like justice more.
I'm want to pick two favorites and just say that murder and justice are tied for first. I was like, I don't know, because arsenic was just so cute. Like, their relationship was budding and it was happy. But then I also like that there was more of them in justice. And then it's just, there's too much. There's too many options. I don't want to choose just yet.
They all have their own merits.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So you don't have a favorite, Aaron?
I don't know. Yeah, I don't think so. I mean, if I had to pick two, I'd probably say arsenic and justice were probably my.
See, there's two for tied first. It's fine.
Yeah, it's definitely my favorite is justice, then arsenic, then murder.
Yeah, it goes backwards.
It's backwards. Yeah, there's just a lot of cuteness in this one. And even though, in arsenic they were cute too, but I love that, they kind of solidified the relationship, and then by the end they were engaged. I can't get over that. I love it.
True.
Elizabeth saying agree. Yep.
100%.
Anything that we missed in our discussion that anybody wants to talk about?
Oh, I just had a lot of just cute moments in my highlights. So, like when she was in her Guinevere costume and she had to hide in that Amish feed store, whatever, and like one of the young men was like trying to introduce himself, and the dad like pushed him back behind him.
No, and then like she was allergic to everything in the store, and she was like, "Not you, just the hay."
And then she's like blowing up like a balloon. She's like, "Get me to my car. I've got drugs that'll save me."
She was seriously allergic if she had that a reaction.
Swelling tongue. Yeah, that's emergency room levels of allergic.
She fell asleep on the way home too. I was just like, maybe you should wake her up, because I mean, I don't know much about allergic reactions, but yeah, your tongue swelling feels like a pretty significant.
Yeah,
that's
dangerous. Because if your tongue's swelling, there's only, then you got your airway right there, So, for sure.
I also thought there were some funny moments in the climax when she notices the killer's feet. She's like, where did she get shoes for those? And it's like in the intense moment, she's thinking, that's the thought that comes to her mind.
Exactly. She's serious about her footwear. Very serious about her
mentions footwear. That her shoes are now like little breadcrumbs too. She's like, these are my favorite pair.
Yes. Oh my gosh. So funny.
And then when Jake first saw her after she got loose, and he's just like, what you doing? Like, she's tied up and rolling in the leaves.
What's she doing? Oh God. Like a little help.
For some reason, like I read that line as like Joey from Friends being like, how you doing? I was just like, this is not the time, sir. Make sure she's okay.
I don't know. She was tied up. Her wrists were bad.
I know. And then he had to go and cut her loose. I was like, ruined moment, sir. She's probably but it's okay. She's invited you to her house multiple times. Sorry, go ahead.
Yeah. And that was about all I had.
Oh. I think the only thing that we haven't talked about was just the she didn't like the really happy, cheery song in the elevator going up to the farmers. And she had made a comment about like, it's a small world after all, and just hating that. And brought up horrible memories because when I was younger, I got stuck in that ride for over an hour and they did not turn off that song, and it literally haunts me. And I'm like, I do not like movies with like possessed dolls, and I think that might be where that fear comes from, because they didn't shut down anything. And she was just like, yeah, I spent what was it, like an hour, or not her, but she spent like the whole ride on the bottom of the thing having like 14 child heart attacks. And I'm like, that sounds not accurate. Like,
that sounds about right. Yes.
That's funny. That's not the first time I've heard that story, Jen, too, of it's a small world breaking down while people are in it and like being stuck in there longer than you should.
I've avoided it for that reason.
I will never go back to it because it's freaky as hell. You don't want to do that, guys. Are your dogs barking? Yeah. Okay. It's just us, Aaron. We can say whatever we want. Nicole can't do anything about it.
That's not entirely true. I can mute us all. So funny.
But yeah, I think that was my only. I mean, I'm sure I had other comments where they said like a sexual innuendo, and I would put my own thoughts in there, but I think we already know what those all are. So,
people are not taking advantage of situations, and I don't agree.
I know, and I try to remind myself, I'm just like, it's a cozy mystery, so it's not going to end like a Madison Faye book, but I would love it to end like a Madison Faye book.
Not a lot of things end like a Madison Faye book. Not a lot of things start like a Madison Faye book either.
The miss you text. Yes. Every time she like second guesses herself, and I'm like, God, I feel so normal now because I'm not alone. I immediately would do the same thing. I'd send it and just be like, oh my God, like I come off way too needy. I need to text them back. I need to call them. Messages being like, this isn't what you think it is.
She texts right after and she was like, I'm not needy. I was like, oh, Mia. I got stuck in the Pirates ride. Pretty much is the same thing. Oh, no.
I feel like that's got to be because that's newer. So I feel like they would use like very lifelike animatronics, and that would scare the hell out of me. I can't do those. Like anytime the Annabelle trailer comes on, like even the music just starts to play and I can see that stupid rocking chair, I knew I would change the channel. I'm like, I can't be a part of this. I will not sleep for days. Like, let's just not put myself through it.
I can't be a part of this. Can't do it.
It's too much, guys. Too much.
Yeah, they were adorable. The I miss you text. Right there in the fields.
Oh, and then I know we've kind of talked about this already, but them like trying to plan something where she's like, you want to have breakfast? Oh, I can't. You want to have lunch? No, I can't. Are you impeding on my murder investigation? No, I'm doing my other job. What about dinner? Not tonight, but what about tomorrow? Oh, and then the 4 days in a row, they're just like, oh yeah, we're seeing each other 4 times in 4 days. Like, that's a new record for us.
Well, I like how like there's that, I think it was that one time where he invited her out and she was like, oh, are we official or something? And then they had a little conversation about that. And then he was like, okay, well, do you want to go out? And she's like, I can't. I'm going.
No, I think he said, his response to that was really cute though. Because if I remember correctly, he was saying that, like from the first moment, I think like the first moment I met you, like we were always official. And I was like,
that's cute.
Okay, I love you guys.
That's such a good line. God.
It would have been creepy if you said it then, but
Right, exactly. Like, no, sir. But now that, they actually want to be together, it's like, yeah, we were official even back then. I'm just like, Mia, if you don't bang this man.
Like he's got a large truck. Go. Your family won't miss you. Bree will be excited because she'll have something to report for her research. Like, do it. Everyone's rooting for you.
And I love how towards the end she was like, I need to get a new car because the mice. And then Fifi's like, I love car shopping. What do you want to get? And she's like, a tank. After all these books where she was like, those men in their gas guzzling truck. She's like, I need a tank. This is not negotiable. It is a good line, Shannon. I can't wait for you to get to the third book.
It's so good. Sorry, now I'm thinking like, did I miss any of these? Because there's a couple times where I would just like do a smiley face, or there was a couple of them. It was so good.
There was a moment. Sorry to interrupt, but what was it? Let me find it here.
Well, you're looking for that. My first post-it was when she was getting ready for the date. And I know I kind of already stated this, but I was like, if this isn't a date with Jake, I'm going to put this, put myself as a murder suspect in this book.
Hi, Julie. How are you?
Hi, Julie.
I don't see how to comment. Oh, on your phone?
Yeah, I don't know if I would know how to do that either. I'll have to learn.
Thank you for watching. I appreciate you. And thank you for writing such a great series.
Yes.
Again, of course. Of course, 5 stars. No one's surprised.
Did you find it, Aaron?
I can't. I don't know what happened to it, but it was something like that Jake said that she was going to mess something up, and she said, well, I'm going to mess you up here in a second.
I remember that too.
Like she would too. So funny. She's so feisty. She's so feisty.
Okay, I forgot about this, but I have to share it because it was really funny. So this was before she's talking to Bernie, and she's like, what brings you out tonight? And they were like, oh yeah, my grandma's friend got lost on the way to their house. And out of a joke, I go, he's probably sleeping with the fishes. I'd say he's pretty far gone. Too soon? And then you think about it, like sleeping with the fishes, it's a saying you say. And then all of a sudden she was like, oh, he's dead, like from a thing. I'm like, well, damn, I didn't mean literally sleeping with the fishes. I forgot about that, but I was just like, oh yeah, I made that one. Let's see here. That's a sexual comment. Got it.
Let's hear it, Jen. Give it to us.
You want to hear it? Okay. Yes. So this is the EMT. He says, I can give you something to help you rest tonight. I squinted at the full moon and twisted like water from my hair and clothes. No, thank you. I didn't want to sleep. I had too many questions and too few locks, because she was talking about having like 25 locks on her like 30-foot door. And she's like, is that something, Jack Archer, in your bed? That would surely keep you awake all night.
Yes. Oh my God, the duck water. And now they're like, my dog smells like duck poop. And then she smells her hair. She's like, oh, I smell like duck poop.
And her outfit too, that the grandma brought her, was like a tube top and like the tightest shoes she'd ever have. I was like, grandma knows what she needs.
She's like, I'll just give this to you. They might not fit, but it's something dry. I'm like, okay, grandma. And then when she had the Captain America shield on her Converse, and she was just like, oh, you've always had a thing for military men. And Jack, and Dan, I think it was Dan. He like, it was like covering up a laugh or something. I'm like, oh my God. Like, honestly, grandma is not subtle at all.
No.
Not subtle.
There was just the line, either 30 was the new 50 or I needed to take better care of myself. And I'm like, I 100% feel that the 30 is the new 50 because I feel old. I wake up, my back hurts, and I'm just like, you don't know it. I think everyone here is over the age of 30, so I'm pretty sure everyone gets it. But when you're like 16 and someone's just like, I hit 30 and everything hurts, and I'm like, you okay? And now I'm 30, I'm like, oh, the pain.
The pain. Everyone's figuring out how to comment on other devices, and I love it. Note to self, connect the squirrels. To on their face, scramble.
I mean, that would have been awesome had it. Oh, maybe like he just gets hit over the head with the branch and passes out in the water. But I mean, if he's watching all the videos, that doesn't quite work. So you did it better.
I just think that's so funny. Oh God.
Oh, that's the thing. Oh, so this was the breakfast, and they got feisty between Bree and Mia, where it goes, Bree lifts her water glass and swirled the contents. Welcome to my world, Nate. I wouldn't have heard about it either if Grandma hadn't started the phone tree last night, and I think this was the murder, finding out that Mia was part of another murder. And then, so her expression puckered, so Bree, are those cats on your dress? It's vintage. The soft black material was cinched at the waist and sprinkled with cream-colored feline silhouettes. By the way, I want this dress already. So that was the first thought. It was adorable. Are those beach balls on your blouse? She set her glass on the table with controlled effort. They're polka dots. Oh, I nodded in mock agreement. Must be the size of the framework that threw me off. I was just like, oh, damn.
I was like, this is so petty.
I was like, and then they coughed into his fist. I was like, oh my God. Like,
that is
and
like,
honestly,
like the best, like passive aggressive. Like, those beach balls on it. I was dying laughing. I was dying.
I don't remember where this was, but it was the line. I asked how you and Mr. Sexy Marshall Pants are doing, and I'm like, not banging enough in my opinion. So again, another sexual comment.
Not banging enough. So true.
That was just the last. Oh, this was the handcuff moment. It was great. I wasn't great at reading between the lines, but I was confident the script between those read, stay out of my investigation or I will handcuff you in a not fun way. And I was just like,
yes.
Oh.
In a not fun way. You just
would you like to come to my place after dinner? He slid his eyes closed. I can't. And I was like, for the love of God, come on. That was my comment.
I'm pretty sure like she invited him to her apartment like 17 times on this book. Like, take the hint. Take.
You mentioned the flash drive.
But she just wanted him to come up to sleep in the spare bedroom. That's
exactly. To protect her.
You don't want to seem too forward. I mean, so true. Invite him over so many times and be like, spare rooms.
Yeah.
You haven't taken me up on my offer yet. Yes.
Yet.
I suspected Polly for some reason. So the girl, the lady that had the phone, the one that was basically blind and couldn't walk to her house, and Dan had to help her because she had handed her phone, and I was like, oh my God, what if she bugged the phone? Like, was she that genius that she could do it? And then like we never heard about Polly again. And I'm like, guess it's not Polly.
It's not.
But just because she handed her back the phone, I was just like, I don't know why I'm suspicious of you. It's probably because I've met you and it's a cozy mystery and I suspect everybody. But yeah.
You can't take advantage of the handcuff moment. What is life even?
Oh, this is when I think he handed over. I just basically laughed at this, but I think it's funny, so I'm going to read it. So do you realize tampering with evidence? So this is between Jake and Mia. I do know that. So Jake goes, do you realize tampering with evidence in a murder investigation is against the law? He shook the drive in the air. Don't answer that. I realized that, but I didn't tamper. His assistant brought the computer to me and asked me to take a look. I did, and I'm handing my findings over to you. He grunted. She thinks I work with the police. He narrowed his eyes. You do not. I told her that. Have you told yourself?
I love how she kept making excuses. Like they kept telling her, like, don't put into the investigation, but then she would then go to like all the different places, and she was like, I could have been there. That's a public store. I could have been there for anything. He was like, you've been to Fur Fins and something, or like whatever the name of the store was. Oh my gosh. I wasn't sure about cozy rules on bedroom stuff.
I mean, make your own rules, Julie. I don't know if your editor will allow it, but in the next Seaside Cafe, if you want to just have Grady get it on, let's do it.
Do it. Spoiler for new author me. This isn't actor. Cozy. You are a door. This isn't actually a cozy.
Oh. I was like, actress, a cozy. I'm like, what? It's like you're trying to speak to me.
I know it. Oh my gosh. You keep saying that like you did, like it wasn't actually a cozy and like this was like your first time, like, you know, but I thought it was great. I thought it was great.
Yeah, I had a great time reading these books.
Yeah.
They were wonderful.
It's not nosy if you're doing it in public places. Oh, damn it. That's true. That was her defense. She was like, this is public. I was here for other business. She's like, if they brought up the murder, I would have to be polite and talk about it. Stop it. Stop it.
This one is about the birthday suit, where she's this is a dirty thought that I had. So the line is, I guess I better pick up a nice suit tomorrow. I'm sure you own a nice suit. Aside from my birthday one, no. I've got a bunch of cheap blazers and dress stuff for work, but that's it. I couldn't stop the cheesy smile spreading on my face at the idea of Jake in his birthday suit. Need any help looking for a suit or finding that one? And I was like, find it. For the love of God, find his birthday suit and put it to use.
Yeah, she was feisty. I like how far she's come, especially in the like being comfortable in their relationship, because in book 1 and even some parts in book 2, she was just like, she wasn't, I don't know, that comfortable with her own sexuality kind of thing. So it's like in this book, she was like saying those like double entendres. She was like teasing him and stuff. And I just love how, you know, that kind of progressed just within like those 2 books.
Yeah, I agree totally. She was catching herself, you know, like enjoying the relationship and things like that. Like there was a moment where she was like, I was afraid he was going to ask me to, you know, have children with him, and I was worried I'd probably say yes.
Oh gosh, yes. I was like, do it. Do it.
This line just, I don't know why it was funny to me, but so they were talking about someone being on her list of like suspects, and it was the senator guy who was like so hard to get a hold of. And so Dan goes, he's constantly on the move. It's like trying to nail Jello to the wall. And I'm like, I imagine that's near impossible to do. Like I sat down and I thought for a second, I was just like, you nailed that to the wall. Like he would fall immediately. Like there's no way that's safe there. Like that's so slippery. I'm like, that's such a great way to describe that he's so hard to get a hold of. And I was
my gosh.
I literally stopped and I thought about it for a second. I'm going, that would be damn near impossible. Like that's just, you'd have, I just don't even know. I think I watched a video once where they put like a pool full of Jello because they wanted to see like the age-old question, can you jump into a pool of Jello? And like you could kind of, but it would stick. And I'm like, maybe if you use that type of Jello, but even still, like once it warms up, you're screwed.
Oh my, I could just see you in your bedroom, Dad, just like diagrams. You're like, Jello, ball, nail. No, still not working. No. Oh, Jen.
I just said this sounded really dirty to me. So this whole thing, I'll let you read it. Of course, you're going to hear it dirty like I do. Let's just be real. So this is between Mia and Jake, obviously. So Jake asks, are you busy later? Why? I smiled, hoping I knew the answer. He laughed. I just want to see you. Don't worry. I'm not planning to talk you into starting a family after dinner or anything. So kind of what we were talking about just a few minutes ago. Good. In the frame of mind he usually put me in, I'd have probably agreed. I have a stack of paperwork that I could probably do anywhere I found a pen. I have pens. He chuckled quietly on the other end. Yeah? Would you like to do your paperwork at my place? Only if you supply the pen. And I was just like, what's happening? Like, I need this to mean things.
Deep thoughts.
I mean, it could work. Did I get you to smoker laugh? It's been a while. Oh.
Deep thoughts.
And I think the last one, and anyone who watches Parks and Recreation may get this a little bit. So she just, again, Jake and Mia. I pulled his handsome face down to mine. I think I love you. His lips parted. Excitement flitted over his furrowed brows. I know I love you. And I was just like, that's so cute. Stop it. But there's a, in Parks and Recreation, the reason why it made me think of that was because there's a line between the two main characters where they're always like, I like you and I love you. And I'm like, that's so beautiful. And
that was such a cute line too. I know I love you. I can't with these two. I can't. So many emotions. Oh.
Sorry, that was it. That was my last stuff. Sorry. There were a lot of random things and they were all very dirty and I apologize. But I'm not sorry.
I'm surprised you didn't mention the when the delivery guy came and he's like, have fun with your box and taboo toys.
I almost did. Well, at first I thought that box was going to be like dead mice. And then she was like, oh, it's the toys. And I was like, toy? Yeah. I didn't note that at that point because I had thought of the dead mice first, but.
Have fun with your box. Oh, it's fantastic.
Okay, now I'm good. Oh, yeah.
So, yeah, next.
I'll get the live Facebook events going soon.
Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah.
I'm really behind on those. And if you feel like getting a lot of it going, I don't have the fourth one yet. It's in the mail.
So, yeah, next book club, Impact Zone. It is technically the third book in the series, but they can be read as standalones. So if you want to read books 1 and 2, there will probably be discussion.
I'll be prepared to read this in one sitting because if you have to start and stop it, it will literally kill you. And just be prepared to feel like you've run a marathon. So maybe just have if you've got asthma, have your inhaler nearby. I don't have it, but.
Yeah, that's the one thing about her romantic suspense is that the fact that it's just honestly like nonstop action the entire time.
Nice.
It was good.
Oh, you're welcome.
Our first official guest host. Yeah, next week is off. We're not coming back until, what is it? The 10th?
The 10th. It says it right there. You even put it on your thing.
I know. I had to read it. I was like, when are we coming back? The 10th. The 10th. Oh, gosh. But that's not the next time I'm going live. The next time I'm going live is for the Percy Jackson read-along, and that is the 4th of February. It's going to be on my channel for the first 9 chapters of the Sea of Monsters.
Nice.
So, yeah, if you want to take a screenshot,
you're welcome back anytime.
I've learned from
that was the test.
Nailed it.
And then for the other one, Jen.
I stopped what I was doing. I thought you were going to start talking about the ones after the Impact Zone. I was like, yeah, this series.
Oh yeah, we are doing
physical copies. Book 2 is not a physical copy. Whoever made that.
Yeah. I was really upset about that.
How do you make 1 and 2 and not do 3, or 1 and 3 and not do 2?
Right. So it's for free
on ebook, so you can get them on Amazon because I also bought them on Amazon.
Book 1 through 3. Mm-hmm. They're on Scribd. If you know.
Nice.
If I have a love-hate relationship with Scribd. I get it. I listen to audiobooks until they cut me off. I get mad and cancel, and then it just repeats into infinity. Yes, at the ready. Air messages. So yeah, after Impact Zone, we're going to be reading those 3 books for the patient price, those cozies. So I do have the StreamYards created already, so that there should be reminders on the event should be on my channel, so you can set a reminder. That's what I'm trying to say. Yeah. Yes. Shannon knows.
That's this one.
Oh, glad to be here, Elizabeth. Thanks for going easy on me, everyone.
The audio's for 5 hours.
They're shorter books. I mean, they're only about 250 pages, 248, I think, for the last few that I've $248 on this one.
Got it.
1 a month. That means you physically read the rest of them? Dang. Sorry, I don't survive if I can't do audiobooks.
You read so much, Shannon, and you're only doing one audiobook? Holy moly. It's a lot.
I like to think I have extra abilities, but I don't.
Not at all. Yeah, I'm basically at the point where it's if it's not an audiobook, I'm not reading it. So
Unfortunately, yes.
I noticed the dates were in the chat. Yes. Yes, they are.
Yeah. And I think the only other ones that we have are the Seaside Cafe. So this is what we were going to chit chat about for momentarily, or at least get the cogs going. So the Patience Price series takes us through March, right?
I believe so. Yep.
So we have April, May, and the first 2 weeks of June, right? So we got 3 months essentially. Yeah. So we got to figure out what we're going to read, friends. Any thoughts, comments, concerns? Start percolating those. I think we had mentioned, because we did do the Grishaverse novels early last year. The second book, oh my God, this will be perfect. Sorry. The second book comes out in the King of Scars
duology?
February? March.
Oh, I don't know when it exactly comes out.
Where's my phone? Hold tight, friends. Let's find out. Let's find out.
So yeah, after the Patient Price series, that is March 24th. That's the last date for that. So we have basically, and we did talk about the Heartland Heroes series too.
Yes, that is another one we had thought about. Yep, because we've got, I've got those near me. Where'd they go?
But yeah, so what we're just asking is like just be thinking about books that you want to discuss, because we do have some openings in the coming months after the Patient Price and then before the Seaside Cafe, because we're doing the Seaside Cafe leading up to the release of Partners in Lime, so they're not until later in the year.
Correct. And the King of Scars duology, which is Rule of Wolves, will come out March 30th. So I think we were talking about that for the first week in May, because I think, we had talked about doing these two first. Yeah. Because this one comes out in February.
Yes.
And this one, technically it says it comes out in March, and this one says it comes out in April, but this one, if you get it on Amazon, comes out in February, and this one comes out in March if you get it from Amazon. So I know that some people prefer not to do Amazon, but
yep,
if you would like the books on time, that might be an option, or an ebook. I think you can get the ebooks from Harlequin fairly soon-ish. But after those, that's where we have to figure out 2 months of books, because Julianne Lindsey doesn't have any new ones. I think some of the older ones are really hard to find. So to make it fair for everyone, we'd have to break everyone's heart and do something different. What would life be? Some
of the books on her backlist are hard to find, and we just want to get books that are kind of,
easy.
Right. We want to have you hunting, but I'm working on it. I'm working on getting all of her books. Like, I will hunt for them. All right.
Sorry.
So, no, you're fine. You're fine. Okay, so if nobody else has anything more to say, either about this book or, anything that we have missed, or you want to put your 2 cents in, now is the time, because we're going to wrap it up.
I got nothing. I was like, I talked through everything. I was like, that was the one thing I had to remember to talk about, was what we're doing after Patient Price. Just, it's further in advance, but think about it.
Get it going in your brain. Erin, thank you so much
for
co-hosting.
It was wonderful.
It was fun.
It was fun. Yes. I will. Yeah.
A little different being in the live versus commenting in the live.
Yes. Yeah. But in a good way.
Good. It's a different dynamic for sure. Yes.
I think it'll be 4 books. And we will have 3 lives in June, but I don't know if I can say much about the extra lives. So we'll just say 2 books that you need to think of for June, 2 books for May, and then we'll leave it at that for now.
Yes.
I was like, I don't know if I'm supposed to bring up other things.
Nope.
But I'm terrible with secrets, guys. Never tell me anything.
And I'm just wondering, like, you've come to these lives, and we appreciate you. Thank you so much for coming to the lives. But how was it, like, not reading the books and just learning the things as we're talking about it? Do you feel like you've read the book, or do you still, you're obviously in book number 1, but
I mean, I don't think we named the killer for this book, so it's still a surprise.
I did. Yeah. I did. We did.
We did? Well, I know we talked about the killer, but I'm not sure we exactly said names, did we?
I said her name.
Never mind. I must have been not in it. Who knows?
I'm not paying attention in her own live stream.
Sorry, guys.
Am I too far behind on the Grishaverse?
Well, where are you at?
Where are you at?
And yeah, because honestly, you have to read the trilogy and the Crooked, the Six of Crows duology, and then you'd also have to read.
Yeah.
So
King of
that's
Scars.
6 books. So you'd have to read 6 books and then be prepared for that one as a 7th. So it depends on how fast you read.
Or how far you're into the Grishaverse.
True that.
How many books have you read? That's where we need to know this information before we can
normally
tell you.
I can't read a physical book to save my life, but I've read 3 this month as proof from there. Actually, I've read 6, or no, those 3, and then I did read Impact Zone earlier. That was a physical read. That was my first one. Book 2, I think you could do it.
As in Siege and Storm?
I'm going to say yeah.
I think you can do it. You'd have to read Ruin and Rising, the Six of Crows duology, and then King of Scars.
King of Scars, and then make sure that you pre-order Rule of Wolves.
Yeah.
Which comes out March 30th. And technically, we wouldn't be reading that one if we did the Heartland Heroes until... Oh, so if we did Heartland Heroes in April, you have until technically May to catch up. So you have, let's just say, because January is pretty much over, 3 months?
So the audiobook, 2.5 speed,
You got it.
No problem.
You got it. Curious to read the books. I'm good at missing the super big spoilers. Mostly I enjoy everyone's comments. It's been super fun.
It's super fun.
Do you just mute us if we're talking about like spoiler things?
Check back in and see what we're talking about. I mean, honestly, it's us. So we're pretty much going to talk about like the relationship and that we want them to bang and make out and just do all the things and that they didn't do that. So it's pretty safe to say you're not going to get too many spoilers.
No truer words have been spoken. No truer words. You have a fair amount of time, and it would be catching up with the series. Yep.
I know for sure I'm going to have to reread King of Scars because I read that one really fast, and I don't feel like I remember it. So I have to.
I'll just watch our live stream.
I have an audiobook, so I have the luxury of being able to put that on at work and then do it as I'm doing background noise. Because right now I'm actually rereading A Court of Mist and Fury.
Yeah, you are.
I read that until like chapter 54, and then I've got to actually stop and pay attention. So.
There's important things that happen in chapter 54 of Court of Mist and Fury. Very, very important. Yes, to the plot. Yes. Turn the volume down. Oh, it's awesome. Oh.
What are you guys reading? Well, we're waiting to see if anyone has anything else to say just in the next 2 weeks.
I'm reading The Shining.
Ooh, okay. Not up my alley. Got it.
And also I'm reading the Kilts and Kisses series by Madison Faye.
How is that?
Fantastic. I love it. It's great. But yeah, for the for the 80s round for the pop culture readathon, I still need to read. I need to read The Shining. I need to read A Warm Heart in Winter by J.R. Ward. And I need to read The Gilda Stories by Joelle Gomez. So those are the 3 books, and it ends on the 31st.
You get 4 days. All right. Aaron, how about you? What are you reading?
So I'm working my way. I just finished the 2nd book in Sherry Thomas's Lady Sherlock series.
I want to read that. Sorry.
They're good. Yeah, they're really. It's a really cool with the the gender flip dynamic and everything like that. And then reading The Sea of Monsters to my girls right now.
Oh,
and then I'm gonna start the Lissarin, which is a Diane Duvall book. It spins off from her Immortal Guardian series. So.
Nice. Oh, cool. That's a very good chapter 54. Yes.
I mean, things happen. Which, knowing this group, you should know what those things are, and they're on the page.
The important stuff.
Yeah. They do the sex.
But yeah, so I want to finish that one so that I'm prepared for her 5th. Do we decide it's the 4th or the 5th book? Because is Court of Stars and Frost and Starlight, is that technically a novella, or is that book 4? Like,
it's a novella. So Silver Flames is 4.
Yeah, so I want to kind of have it re-prepared for that, because I feel like I never pay attention to Wings and Ruin, just because Mist and Fury is so good. I'm probably going to read a Madison Faye just to kind of keep with that series a little bit. And then I would like to try, because I've already read Impact Zone, to get these 2 done by next week as well.
Oh, yes.
Whether that will happen on top of everything else is a mystery. Although I do have the Bridgerton books on audiobook, and I would love to keep going with that, because I finally finished book 2 and I loved it. But yeah, I'd have to do book 3. I don't know who that's on.
How could we not know what you meant?
Just in case if there's anyone new to the chat, I don't know.
If there's any confusion, we just clear that up.
Well, thanks for knowing me, guys.
Awesome. All right, everyone. Well, I hope you have a wonderful night. Aaron, thank you again. We hope
you're welcome. Thanks for having me.
Yes, we hope you're in more lives in the future. And yes, everyone, please sign up if you want to be in the live and have as much fun as Aaron did tonight.
Yes.
Princess Pulverizer. Interesting. What an interesting title.
Chapter books.
I'm have to look that up.
Yeah, Princess Pulverizer. Yeah, that is.
We all get on our phones. We're just like,
yeah.
writing
this down.
Mm-hmm. Grilled Cheese and Dragons is the first in the series.
That sounds freaking fantastic. She looks like she's having fun too. Okay, let's see if I can get this right.
Everyone.
Do I have to turn my stuff down so you can read it? That's the first picture.
Those are going to be great.
Just looks awesome. Makes me think of How to Train Your Dragon.
Oh, yeah. All right, everyone. Well, have a wonderful night, and we will see you in 2 weeks.
2 weeks.
Bye, everybody.